Welcome aboard. Need help? Use help tutorials.
We select a tutorial from the help dialog. This is a FlightGear general feature and it's really useful. We are in the default variant of the F-16, which is the Charlie Juliet Block 52. We can get help of the aircraft for the aircraft here. You see the shortcut key list and we can read the manual. We will follow in the aircraft checklist provided here. So let's first close the canopy. Now let's set the fuel and pilot settings. In this dialog we can set the fuel quantity and the available stars, or we can choose a payload preset like this one. Once we choose a payload preset, we must open again the fuel and payload settings dialog in order to correctly set the weight. In the configuration tab, we check this box at our discretion, and in the autopilot admired dialog, let's set just a regular airport as home airport in order to have a navigation route. Now let's enter the canopy. If you are not able to locate any of the components in the cockpit, just click on this button in order to bring a marker around it, or you can execute the action related to the nav or switch clicking on this button like that, and you can toggle the marker or simply close the window. Let's proceed with the cockpit check, and the EPU switch must be on, the cutoff must be locked, the landing gear switch must be down, the hook switch must be up, the ground jettison switch must be off, the master arm switch must be off, the alley flap switch must be auto. Here in the air conditioner panel, the temp knob must be auto and the air source knob must be norm. Now here is the electrical panel, and here is the test panel. Remove the power switch to the bat position, and see in the aircraft bat zone the flight control relay message display. When we move this switch to the test position, the 4 lights up there appears. The flight controls powers left and right, Alpha Bravo Charlie Delta lights, and in the aircraft bat zone in the electrical panel, the to fly controls message is displayed now. When we release this switch, flight controls relay message goes back, and the flight controls powers light goes away, turns off, and the PNG and the flight controls PNG light is turned on. Remove the power switch to the main power position, and see here in the warning panel the electrical system light. Here the engine and the hydraulic and oil pressures light. Also, we confirm these 2 lights off, which correspond to the EPU generator, and we are able to run both of the accumulators. Wait for the GFS light, which is that green light, and wait for the engine until the RPM gauge reaches the 20% marker. The second light has gone at the same time, and we release the cutoff. Now we wait for the engine. The engine and hydraulic pressure light has gone. That's how was the switch going to the off position, and all the electrical lights has gone, and the engine light has gone also. We have started the engine and we check the electors here for the fuel flow, the oil pressure, the nozzle position, the RPM gauge. Here's the fan, turbine inlet temperature, and the two hydraulic pressure gauges. That all must be okay. And now, after the engine started, in the test panel, we press this button in order to bring all the lights and the warnings here, and listen to the voice message in it, and manage it billing with this switch, with this knob.
Pull up, pull up. Warning, warning.
Let's turn on this. And here in the avionics power panel, we move the inertial navigation system knob to the lamp norm position, and all these switches to the on position. If you are not able to see these tooltips, go to the view options dialog and check this box or this another one, and you will be able to see this. The animation, the starting animation for the multifunctional display is just available for blocks over 40. This line is associated with the road established here in the Autopilot Manager dialog. Here is the initial point of the currently waypoint, and this is the target or final point of the currently waypoint. Here's the bullseye symbol and the distance, and this little protuberance in the circle here is the bearing to the bullseye, and this is the heading from the bullseye to us. Remove the oxygenated switch to the on position and see the gauge reads. Here's the gauge liquid oxygen quantity, and the oxygen low light here in the warning panel has gone. But let's move this switch and see the gauge drops and the oxygen low warning light appears. With the fire no here detect button, we see the overheat warning light and the engine fire lights warning. The probe heat test brings the probe heat light blinking in the warning panel. Let's run the engine to the 75%. I'm sorry. And move the EPU switch to the test position. We see in the electrical panel the EPU generator light briefly appears until that green light, the run light, which means the EPU is activated with the air source, appears. Also the flight controls power lights appears. Let's see that again. The EPU, The EPU generated lights until the red light appears with the air source here. Back to the idle position. For the shuffle. So you can see the nozzle is over the 100%. Let's proceed with this, and here let's energize the left and the right hard points, since we have the sniper and the harm pods, so we need power in the hard points, the fire counter radar power in the radar altitude switch. Let's move this switch to the DD data in order to the DD data be displayed in the hood. Check the EPU field, also must be in the correct vector, and these three green lights must be on, and that means the landing gear is down. The manual pitch switch is in the normal position unless we enter in a deep stall situation. So we move the switch to the override position. Let's check the controls. Let's see the controls response. In the countermeasure defense system panel, we move the switches to the on position. This now to the manual mode. You can see we now have activated the radar warning receiver, also the flares and shafts. Now we turn on the communication radius, which is, if I remember correctly, there are only work in the multiplayer sessions. Let's see here. Let's turn on the hood. Here we can see the uniform radio is not working, and its panel is used as a navigational radio. So if you have a station, a board station, or a navigational station like a board, here you can listen the identification in Morse code and manage the building with this knob. Here in the ICP panel, these 4 keys, and in a sense these are two same. These 4 keys overrides any page in the DD. In the communication button is for the uniform radio, and as I said before, it's not working. And the communication radio, the FlightGear communication, is in the Victor radio. But we cannot enter a frequency here through the DD, so we must open the radio dialog and enter the frequency like this. Now we see the frequency displayed. Remove the switch to the return position in order to see the main DED page, which is the CNI communication navigation IFF page in the DED. Also related to navigation, here is the steering great circle steering key tadpole, which also follows the route put here in the route manager. We will see the elements in the hood later. Now when you are before the taxi, you must get the canopy class unlocked, and if you're not, that message, that light appears, that canopy light. So before the taxi, close the canopy, and let's set the altitude here. Let's check the altitude value. We do not have the detail, the advanced weather enable, but let's see the altitude here. Now 290907, and let's enter the 2997 value here. And as I say, this before the taxi, so I have spawned here since I don't have any parking position available at this airport. In this airport, let's bring some light here. Let's move the end master switch to a known position, and also the fuselage to the bright position. The anti-collision light is not working, is not active until the master switches in the known position. Let's bring also the interior lights. That instrumental panel. Let's manage this. Now let's move the inertial navigation system switch to the nav position. We're able to see the inertial navigation system page in the DED, and we see our currently position, our currently ground speed, and here's the through heading. Here's the heading calibrated, but here's the through heading, and we are able to see the magnetic variation page, and let's see, it's better displayed here. The return also. And when you're taxi or before the taxi, check the now steering wheel with the reverse controls. And here's the electronic horizontal situation indicator, which at least in this variant, in the Block 52, it has this button which is for the navigation mode. As you can see here, now it's in the taken mode, but it is not available frequency, taken frequency available, and that's because this line is segmented. But if we press the navigation mode and go to the nav mode, we see this solid line, and that means that a route is available, since the nav mode follows the route set here in the autopilot route manager. If you want to follow a radial, a navigational frequency, enter here in this panel. You must use the electronic situation, the electronic horizontal situation indicator, but in another mode, which is the bore mode, or the precision landing system. Sorry, Well, I'm sorry, I was wrong. You must use, but the case is also for the taken mode. Also, the taken is must be followed here in the electronic situation, horizontal situation indicator. And now, before the takeoff, we active the radar, check the all flap switch must be norm, the speed brakes closed, the switch, the field quantity switch is requested norm by the checklist, but we want to check the stereo field quantity and the field quantity in the stereo drop tanks. So let's move this to the stereo wings position, and let's see the two needles move here. This marker also is still reading the total field available. As you can see, here is this light, which is the stores configuration light. That is the fly-by-wire requesting another configuration for the stores for the management of the controls. If this number here is major or equal than 2, we must move this switch, the stores configuration switch, to the cat free position, and that's for the fly-by-wire system. We return to the CSD page, and the only light here, as you can see, is the seat. Is for the seat ejection seat, and let's arm it. Now there are no more warning lights. Check last time for the oil pressure. And here, let's set our caral low altitude, and let's enter a value, and in second you press enter. You move through the available options in any of the DD pages with this key, or this another one here, and you can delete one digit clicking one time the recall button, or erase everything clicking twice. So let's enter here the value, well, when you sequential here in the CNI page, see the direction and the wind speed, you are able to manual trim here in this panel. But we are now ready for takeoff.